There's no point trying to live by the rules and schedules of normal life when you're in the jungle. The jungle is beautiful but harsh, so you have to give yourself enough rest, liquids and time to wash. Not that there isn't time to enjoy yourself too. Though the jungle is just as capable of giving you a dousing. At the end of each day is a nice little part of the routine, which is the wash and then into your dry kit. You keep one set of clothes dry for the evenings, well, as dry as you can make them. And it's important when your feet have been wet all day to wash them, to powder them and to rub some life back into them. This prevents foot problems, foot rot and other conditions associated with that. Really good. It's a nice time. It's not very often you take so much time to pamper yourself, as it were. It's great having the old hammock though, because you can just sit here. It's raining outside and the rain can't touch you. It's brilliant. Nice moment. There's absolutely no point in trying to stay dry in a rainforest. Things are just far too wet. But at the end of the day, it's really worthwhile putting on your dry clothes. And these waterproof socks, well, right now my feet are already warm and toasty. Fantastic. This is our logistics camp. Doesn't matter how many times you come to the rainforest, you rarely see the same thing done twice. The way they've set up this shelter is really interesting. They'd taken flexible boughs and chosen to arch the roof of our camp kitchen. So simple, yet unique in my experience. We brought much of our food with us. It's a full-time job for the people of Kanerakuni to feed themselves, but we did buy pineapples from them, the best I'd ever tasted. So why is this tree important to you, Luis?
Porque es importante para nosotros para hacer un pelota. Cuando no había pelota.
We use it to make balls to play.
And how do you do that?
Bueno, así sacamos la líquido.
You take the latex out of the tree.
Pone así. Está grande, ¿no? Porque hay
To get a big ball, you need to cut more than one tree in order to collect enough latex.
otro varios palos para que tenga más pelota grande.
And is that how these cuts came to be made?
Yo.
I did it.
You did it? How many years ago was that?
Bueno, eso tiene 40 años.
40 years ago.
Must have been small.
Sí, esta fue. Yo siempre me explico a los muchachos. Por ahí está palo. Y otro
Yes, I remember it well.
Sí, porque yo
And I remember each tree we used to use. I tell the children now where they can't find the right trees to make balls because balls from the city are expensive.
Todavía se usan cuanto no, porque es muy caro en ciudad.
Talking to Luis was like having your own encyclopedia of the jungle, and he was wonderfully generous with his knowledge. What's this then, Luis?
Ponemos solamente la concha, ¿no? No es la...
It's red sap from a vine that we use as a dye. Traditionally, it should only be collected by women who are no longer virgins.
Y con eso lo pinta.
It's believed young girls coming of age might bleed to death if they do it. So it's gathered by older women who already have children and grandmothers.
En la piel.
It's a really intense red colour. It really looks like this is bleeding. You can easily understand the mythology associated with it. If I put my hands down, you might think I'd cut myself. Very strong colour. Almost everything comes from the forest, including their fishing rods. Luis used the fire to harden the rod, a technique I've seen indigenous people use all around the world. Where I come from, people will often spend a whole week's wages to buy a fishing rod. The other thing that happens, Luis, is that they catch fish and then they throw them back into the river once they've caught them. What do you think of that?
De eso lo gasta el dinero, después lo compra y es muy costoso, costa mucho ahorita, ¿no? Entonces,
So they're throwing the money out of the window, and they probably go to the shop and buy the fish anyway.
Next morning, we had to empty the boats before an early start. We're going fishing today, and as always in these events, it's a whole family affair, like a real party outing. Great way to go and get your food. Some of our visitors are getting a sightseeing tour of our camp as we go past. It's like being on a double-decker London bus. It feels like one of those explorer goes down the river moments. Pull hard together, blade on a feather. Reminds me of my boating days in Oxford. So things have gone, man. Travelling down a river is a great way to see anywhere. I mean, I love river journeys, point blank. Somehow when you're on a river, you're on the very life of the forest itself. And it's hard to remember just how remote this is. We are so remote here, it's just hard to picture. In the distance, the Seranyama, just above the mist there. Awesome. You hear the birds singing, so peaceful. When you come places like this, you realise what noise pollution is.